If you're thinking about buying a new RV or an older RV, I'm sure there's things that you've heard over and over again, some myths, some half-truths. Well, I'm Chuck with Lake to Lake, and we're going to set the record straight on some of these myths. Let's get started with number one. Myth number one, RV life is always relaxing. Well, I'm here to tell you that the more you RV and the more experience you get, the better off you are and the more relaxing it is. But there are a few drawbacks and there's a few stressful times that come up in the RV. Flat tires. You get a flat tire. At my age, I can still change a flat tire. I'm 67. But you know what? Most of the time, I'm probably going to call somebody to come out and fix it because I'm probably on the highway and I don't want to fix it myself. Number two, slide issues. I don't care what kind of RV you have. With enough time, you can have some issues with your slides. Now, sometimes they're simple. You just reset them. Sometimes you resync them. You know, whether it's just backing in and do you have enough room for your slide to extend out so it doesn't run into the power pedestal or a tree. But again, it's something to be thinking about. The weather. We never can control the weather. Here in Kansas, you know, we can have a bright sunny day, 85 degrees in the afternoon. By 7 o'clock at night, thunderstorms roll in, lightning, thunder, power outages. You just never know. But weather is something that you can't control, and it can add a little bit of stress to your trip. Another thing is backing into your campsite. If you're not experiencing backing in a trailer, it can be very stressful. And when you get a lot of people watching you backing in, it gets a little more stressful. And when you and your wife are having miscommunications about backing in, it's really stressful. So backing in, just saying. Another thing you need to be aware of that can add a little bit of stress is your awnings. You can't leave them out when it's windy or when it's raining. Now, you'd think if it was raining, you'd put your awning out and sit underneath it. No, it collects water. And if it collapses and breaks, you're looking at $2,000 or $3,000 repair bill. And when you leave, you need to put your awning in. If you don't, the wind can come up, poof, broken. Another big bill. Another thing is dumping your tanks. The first times you do it, you're really stressful. My wife said, "Nope, that's your job, my job. I get to dump them. I handle them. I put on the gloves. I clean them up. I have the disinfectant wipes, the whole 9 yards. But it's all on my shoulders." And I've kind of gotten used to it, so it's kind of become old hat. But you know, I still have that a little bit of stress going on when I do that, thinking, you know, I really don't want to do this, but I don't have a choice. Myth number two. A half-ton, heavy-duty, or a high-capacity towing truck can tow a fifth wheel that's 13,500 pounds. That's what the specs say. That's what's printed. That's what the dealership says. That's what the salesman says who you're buying the truck from. That's what the camper salesman says. Yeah, if your truck says 13.5, yeah, you can pull this 13.5 RV fifth wheel. I'm telling you, right now you can't. You can't do it safely. And here's the reasoning behind this. Your cargo weight on that truck, I'm going to give you an example. I'm not going to throw out manufacturers, model numbers, rear ends, all that stuff. But the cargo weight is 3,325 pounds. The pin weight, which would be 25% of the fifth wheel weight of 13,500, is 3,375 pounds. So when you back your truck in and you put that trailer on, you're 50 pounds over your cargo weight. Now, you got to get in there. Your wife has to get in the cab. That's 400 pounds. Your kids, your dogs, water, whatever. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. That's a big myth. And I have one of my videos is on this. I've had over 130,000 people watch that video. And you know what? 90% of the people agree with me. The other thing I'm just going to tell you, common sense goes a long way when it comes to buying the right truck for the right trailer. And make sure you got more truck than trailer. And if you don't believe me, and you're going to believe the salesman, go talk to some people that have some real towing experience. Go to an RV show. Talk to the people walking around looking. Talk to people that want to upgrade, or go out to a campsite and talk to people at a campsite. Get some real world towing experience and advice. They'll set you straight because they're not selling you anything. They're telling you the way it is. Myth number 3: RVs are labeled 4 seasons. Now, I'm going to tell you that they're labeled 4 seasons for a reason, because they want consumers to buy a 4 season trailer that think they can camp when it's 100 degrees out and it's 0 out. Well, that's false statements. Campers, by and large, are hot in the summertime because they're not very well insulated. You may not be able to run all your air conditioners depending on where you're at and what your current setup is, but it's very tough for air conditioners to keep an RV cool when it's 100 degrees out. And it's even more difficult when you get down below 20 or 25 degrees to keep that RV from freezing up. Number one, in mine says 4 seasons, and basically what that means is my bottom is enclosed, and I have a heat duct from my propane furnace that dumps into my water tank area. Now, it doesn't dump into my gray tank. I have 2 gray tanks, one for my kitchen sink and one for my shower. It doesn't dump in and heat those. It just heats my fresh water tank. It doesn't heat my water lines that come from my when I hook up my water to the tank or to the rest of the RV. None of those water lines are protected. They're not heated. They're not insulated. They freeze. They freeze. They freeze long enough. They break. And the same thing can happen with your dump tanks. They will freeze, and then you can't get the black water or gray water out, or the valves freeze and they won't work. It's just a big myth. They put that on there just as a selling point, but they will not work in extreme cold weather. They just don't work in extreme cold weather. They will freeze up. That's the bottom line. And you can go out to any RV website. You can go out to any YouTube channel or any blog, and they'll tell you the same thing. Don't believe that. The other thing you got to remember is propane acts differently or behaves differently when it's really cold. Your tank has to be at least 30% full for it to produce usable propane in extreme cold weather. So you gotta keep that in mind, because if you drop below 30%, that tank's going to shut down. It's not going to provide enough vapor to run your furnace. Then you got to switch tanks. And if that, normally in the summertime with switch tanks, it's no big deal. But in the wintertime, you're only getting to use 70% of your propane, and that can be frustrating. All right, on to myth number 4. Myth number 4: brand new RVs are very reliable. Well, I'm going to tell you from my experience, they have some minor issues, even when they're brand new. They're not built like a car. Basically, a car you get in, you can drive it for 3 to 5 years and not have anything go wrong with it. On your RV, what I highly recommend is you go on a shakedown cruise. You make sure you're close to home. And you make sure that you're close to home and that you know that the Home Depot or a hardware store close to you, because you may need some extra supplies. And what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the big things. I'm talking about maybe a drawer won't open or close, or a door sticks, or a sliding door isn't working right. Or maybe your unit was winterized and you don't know how to de-winterize it, and you get everything done and you think you're right, but you have no hot water because you didn't know that the hot water tank was bypassed when they winterized it. It's just those little things that you need to be aware of when you go camping the first time. That's why we call it a shakedown trip. Makes you close to home. Plus, you're not going to know how some things work. How do you slide? You look at your slides. You got to put if you got a big rig and you got opposing slides, you got to put them out in the correct order. And you look at your panels and it says slides 1, 2, and 3. How do you know what slides 1, 2, and 3 are? Do you know how to run your TV? Do you know how your TV works with it when it's over the air? You got a new microwave. Do you know how to use your microwave? Do you know how to run your thermostats? They're all different. They're not like a home thermostat. And so you need to be aware of these things. If you have a travel trailer, do you know how to put on your hitch? Do you have a weight distribution and anti-sway hitch? If it is, it's complicated. It's not just backing up and locking it in and going. There's some other things that need to be done. And I'm going to guess if you're like me, you went to the dealer, they hooked it up for you. I drove home and I said, okay, wish I'd taken a video of that. I didn't. But I figured it out. But again, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. A little bit stressful, but I figured it out. But I was glad that my first trip was close to home, and when I unhitched and hitched it up from the dealer, I had it stored at my house. I get on YouTube and figure it out. So anyway, now myth number 5, and we battle this, that a bigger RV is a better RV. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not necessarily the case. The bigger RVs means the bigger truck you need, which means the more money you got to spend on a truck, and the bigger the truck, the bigger the RV, the harder it is to back into a spot. I'm just telling you, that's a fact. And bigger is also more complicated. You have multiple slides. You know, when you back in, will that slide open without hitting the power pedestal or a tree? Do you know which order the slides go out in? You have multiple air conditioners. You know, sometimes you know, you need to put them on in a certain order so they don't flip the breakers. Again, it's just a little more. When you add more items, you add complexity to your unit. Stabilizers. Do you have a set of stabilizers? You push the button and they come down and they adjust the rig and make it level. I'll tell you what, everybody you see that has those at some point in time, they have problems with them. And then if you have the solar panel, inverter, lithium batteries, that's a whole other story. And that's another can of worms we're not going to go into. But again, it's just adding complexity. And the bigger the RV, the better chance you have of the dealer or the manufacturer putting batteries, inverters, and solar panels on. In some ways, I just think it's more stuff to go wrong, but that's for another story. And then the last thing is, if you got a big rig, you probably can't store it at your house unless you live in the country. So you're gonna have storage fees, and you again, you may have to be, if you want it covered, you're gonna be backing into the narrowest spot that you can imagine you ever back your rig into to get it stored over the winter. Again, it's just sometimes the bigger ones aren't better, and they're not less stressful. That's for sure. Well, I think that'll wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you would, please subscribe. And if you want to know when they come out, hit the notification bell and you'll be notified. And until we meet around the campfire, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.